My next semester of college was coming up, and being young and broke, I didn't have much money to pay for it, and I was already up to my neck in student loans, so there was no way I could get another loan. I needed a way to make cash quickly, or else I might have to take a year off and work my butt off somewhere. Before settling for that, I decided to hit the web and search for some ways to get enough money to cover my costs. That's when I discovered an ad for a clinic looking for people to partake in a clinical trial of their new medication. I explored the site to see how legit it was and eventually found it had a special program for students. If I took part in this study, they'd not only pay my tuition for the remaining time in college, but they'd also pay off my current student loans. It was amazing, but it did come at the cost of whatever this new medication did to me. It was possible this whole thing could go wrong. Despite that, I signed up, as honestly, it was too good of a deal to pass up on. The day of the trial came quickly, and I arrived at the same time as some other people and started to fill out some paperwork. Once I was done, I went and sat around for a while until a bunch of doctors came out. They explained what was going on and how the trial was going to go. Then each of us was led into the back and brought to a door. The door I ended up at had the number 2 on it. The doctor I was with pulled out a bottle of water and a small pill. He had me take it, using the water to swallow it. He then did a quick check to make sure I took the pill correctly before he opened the door to the room and told me to go inside. I walked inside and immediately heard the door behind me slam close and lock tightly. I let out an awkward laugh as I looked at it. I then looked around the room and was surprised to see that it was themed like a barn. There was a small structure that resembled a barn with a stall for an animal to sleep in. There was a trough filled with water, and the rest of the room was filled with grass. It honestly looked like a stage where a farm-themed children's show would be filmed. It didn't seem to fit the trial, so I figured it was just left over from something else, or perhaps a place for young kids to play. Either way, it sort of left me with no place to sit and relax, which was a bit strange since I was supposed to be in here for a few days. It also left me nothing to do, so I went and lay in the grass and looked up at the fake sky. I'm not sure how much time passed after that, but when the room ended up filling up with an amazing scent, I got relaxed and fell asleep. That was when things started to get interesting. I don't normally dream, or at least, I never remember my dreams, perhaps because they were never really vivid enough, but this time I was having an amazing dream. I was working on a farm. I had the overalls, bucket, and everything you'd expect. I was going around and milking all the cows so we could sell their milk to our customers. As I sat down to work on the next cow, I removed my hat and revealed I had a cute pair of cow ears with a pair of horns above them. I wiped my brow and put my hat back on. I then leaned over and got to work. As the smell of fresh milk hit my nose, my long skinny tail started to swing back and forth. It had such a good smell, and it made me feel so happy. The dream ended when I heard something close. I sat up in time to see it was the door to the room that I was in. Someone must have come inside, but I had no idea why. I looked around the room to see if anything was different, but everything seemed the same. I then checked myself. I still had my horns, my ears were still on top of my head, I had my tail, and my chest was about the size I think it normally was, though maybe it was a bit smaller than normal. To be fair, it's empty at the moment, so that's probably why. Seeing as nothing was out of place, I decided to ignore it and lie back down. I didn't go back to sleep, but I sort of just lounged around until I got hungry. That got me to get up and slowly walk around until I figured out what to eat. It was a bit strange, but there was this pile of hay, and something about it made my stomach growl. It felt a bit strange, as I don't remember eating hay before, so I had no idea if I actually liked it. But once it was in my mouth, I fell in love. I probably ate my weight in hay, all of which was amazing. After filling up, I went out to the grassy field and stood there under the sun lamp. I enjoyed the warmth of my skin and the smell of fresh grass below me. It honestly had me so relaxed I was planning to spend the rest of the day there. I didn't get long though, as that amazing smell filled the room again and I found myself falling asleep. I had another dream after that, but it was much better. I was hanging out with a super cute ranch hand. I was wearing a super cute cow print dress and he was wearing a cute pair of overalls with a red shirt. He grabbed a bucket and sat down next to me. He then got to work doing what ranch hands like him do. We were halfway done when I woke up, ruining the best dream ever. I wasn't going to bother getting up, but my stomach was already rumbling, and I was quite thirsty. I stood up, feeling quite heavy and sluggish, and made my way to the hay and water trough as slowly as I could. I drank and ate my fill, and then I had to go to the bathroom, so it was out to the field for me. It was after that I noticed I had a new outfit. I had a super cute cow print dress, one that fit my tall feminine body more than whatever I was wearing yesterday. The dress itself was almost identical to the one in my dream, and something about it made me feel warm and happy. Perhaps it was a gift from the ranch hand in my dreams. Maybe it wasn't even a dream. Maybe I was just reliving my memories as I slept. It made sense. I was so happy during it. It made me wonder what I was doing at this fake farm place. I had completely forgotten. I'm sure it was important, perhaps a checkup or something to make sure I was a healthy cowgirl, but what do I know? I'm just a cowgirl after all. The rest of my day was spent lounging around again, as I'm way too lazy to do anything. Well, other than eating. I did get up to eat some more hay twice, but the third time I was hungry, I just rolled onto my stomach in the field and ate some grass. Which wasn't that bad. The hay was still better. 2 minutes after that, or perhaps 2 hours. I truly have no idea how much time had passed. The fake barn area I was in didn't have a real sun, so the time didn't seem to change. Anyway, that amazing scent came back and I closed my eyes and enjoyed it as I drifted off to sleep again. That time I had the same dream as before, but this time I got to finish it. The rancher and I filled up several buckets and he carried them away, happy with our work. He came back a few minutes later and brushed my hair, all while telling me how pretty I was. It was the best dream ever, but it was ruined by a nightmare. Suddenly I found myself surrounded by people in white coats wearing masks. They said strange stuff about me, I think, but they kept mentioning some guy which couldn't be me, so maybe they surrounded someone else as well. I was worried they were going to hurt me, which caused my heart rate to spike, waking me up from that dream. As I caught my breath, I looked around and found myself inside a stall, not the fake one from the clinic. I stood up and walked out of it and looked back and forth. All around me were other cows, all awake and waiting to start their days. I walked up to one of the other stalls and attempted to open it. That's when I heard someone clear their throat. I turn and see the most handsome farmhand standing there. He smiled at me and then asked me what I was doing. I panicked a bit and stuttered as I told him I was just helping out. He chuckled and showed me a bucket. He told me to take it and we could milk the cows together, after which we could go and hang out in the field. I smiled as I took the bucket and told him that sounded amazing. I then playfully told him I'd fill more buckets than him, which made him laugh again and accept my challenge. Log number 125. Subject 002, the cowgirl. Original name, Caden Merritt. Age, 20. Subject 002 has seen extremely positive results from the trial. As hoped, the pill turned the young student into a cowgirl, and the reprogramming was 100% successful. Log number 125 continue. After the trial ended, the subject was rehomed to a farm owned by a relative of one of our medical experts. There she will live a happy life as a cowgirl, fully unaware of her old life, and so happy she wouldn't even care if you told her. She is not a risk to our organization. Hiya, just finished the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I put a lot of work into writing and editing these stories, so it would mean the world to me if you could hit that like button or even subscribe. It would mean a lot more to me if you checked out my Patreon and DeviantArt pages. Them help support my work, allowing me to write as much as I do. Seems that's all from me today. I guess I'll see you all next time. Till then, stay awesome.